the British Army will have to digitally transform whatever happens. So it's not like a transformation where we're on a burning platform. It's more about recognising that the future of digital warfare and a digital asymmetric army, which is what the integrated review has said we're going to deliver, requires transformation to get to that end state. The three headline macro outcomes are to be able to outcompete our adversaries, which is clearly the want of any army in terms of warfighting, to integrate better with our partners. And in partners, I would include both our international partners, but also our commercial partners, and to improve the efficiency of the army. You know, we're in a fiscally challenging environment. The pandemic has clearly not helped. The integrated review has delivered sufficient money for the army to continue to operate in a new way that it's described in that integrated review, but it's going to have to transform digitally to make those numbers add up.
The army is used to evolving, it's used to change, but this is something on another scale.
In terms of the amount of change, well, I think it would be arrogant of the army not to recognise we're in the fourth industrial revolution, and that technology is increasingly becoming part of the change driver for society. You just have to look at artificial intelligence, machine learning, analytics, data, and the importance of data to us, you know, the new oil within the machine, as it's often called. This is going to happen. So it would be arrogant of the army not to accept that it's got to make that change and move to a new digital footing. And then lastly, I suppose, it's our adversaries. You know, we're already seeing our major adversaries using data, cyber, in terms of a form of attack, but data more broadly to underpin the ways they would seek to compete with us and the ways they would seek to undermine, you know, what we hold dear in the Western world. So it's out there, it's coming, and the army's going to get ready for it.
Most people don't really get excited about data, but the way you put it, talking about it as the new oil in the machine, can you try and explain why it's so important in terms of operational advantage and real-life battlefield examples? What can it do for us?
It's not so much about individual streams of data, the stuff that you and I hold and know dear, you know, our address book and, you know, the various other bits of data that live in our lives. It's about the bringing together of all of that data and the unbelievable insights that can bring. So once you bring large sets of data together and you apply machines to that data, which are much better at us at sensing patterns, finding insights, you begin to learn things that no human, even thousands of people sat in a room, would never be able to identify. So that's really exciting, because that, you know, that in terms of unlocking our adversaries' weaknesses, for example, understanding where to attack and where to defend and where to avoid, is a real a game changer for the way that warfare is evolving at the moment.
And of course, you mentioned adversaries. Some of our potential adversaries, Russia and China, are, you know, renowned for their exploitation of data and their knowledge of the cyber sphere. How does the UK compete?
The connectivity that's come from next generation networks and pervasive networks gives the opportunity for cyber attack. It's the compute power and the storage, which is now democratized and available to everyone through things like the cloud, that's beginning to bring cyber attacks to the fore. If you add in behind that a state actor who would traditionally, a normal cyber attack, if it was done by a private individual or, you know, hackers as they're affectionately known, they're not very complex, they're not very detailed. But if a state actor brings to bear the machinery of a state into that space, it's a really, really dangerous game. And we've got to work hard at that. The army has really clear policy on what it's doing. Defence has an entire 2-star leadership structure now under Charlie Forte and the Chief Information Officer, working towards making us able to both protect ourselves from cyber attack, but also use it to our advantage where that's appropriate.